Well, hey, everybody. Let's see if we can get live. There we go. Oh, my goodness. It act like it didn't want to do. I'm here, though. Hey, everybody. Come on in the room. Let's see what we got going in here. Let me tell the platforms that I'm here so that way folks know to come on in. Come on in the room. You can come on in the room. I'm live in all the places. Live in all the places. All righty. Ready to talk about what we potentially have coming this week? Listen, no crystal balls. No crystal balls at this point because it's a lot happening in the geopolitical space. Well, there has been a lot happening in the geopolitical space, and I think a lot of that was being kept from us. Don't know if this feels like my thing is jumping. It's jumping. I'm trying to make sure stuff is turned off so I can get as good a reception as possible. I see some folks have made it. Ward is here. Good evening. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Ward. I appreciate that. Pastor Will is here. Good evening. Blessings to you. And Val is here. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Well, I'm going to take this back off for now. Got a lot happening. Y'all, I'm sure if you've been watching the news at all. Hey, Janae say we here. Yes, I love it. I'm running a little bit of late. I was editing a document and lost track of time. So there's that. But I'm here. Hope y'all are well. I'm well. It is Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. I guess after 5:00 it becomes evening, doesn't it? Pastor says all is well. Yep. So not that you needed me to tell you. I mean, unless you've been literally away from the news, which I'm notorious for being away from the news. I'm not a fan of news and all. But when you get on any social media since yesterday morning has been, sharing what's going on in the Middle East. I actually have friends who are still in the Middle East because I used to live in Bahrain. I lived in Bahrain for 2 years. So we still have friends there. And when I started seeing, you follow people on social media and you interact with them as soon as they post something, that same information pops up. Some people, if you don't necessarily engage with people, you may not see all their posts, but because we still do engage with them. I saw the things popping up going, there was a strike in Bahrain, and my ears and eyes like perked way up. Like, what do you mean? The military base in Bahrain, which lots of our friends are there. Well, they were. Many of them have left now. They had left right after we left, but we still have some people who are still there. I got some teacher friends still there. And when you start seeing stuff pop up in Middle East, and you're just like, no, are you okay? You start worrying about your people. Not only do we do that, but the next thing that I generally do is start to pray because there's so many things in life, and this situation is included in that you cannot do anything about, that you can't control. Um, you really have nothing. And there has to be an outlet for that pent up energy because that energy in your nervous system starts to do its thing. There has to be some way to release that, to relieve that pressure. And my chosen way of pressure relief is prayer because I do know the one who can control all of this, who can do something about it. So I just started to pray. Hey, Tanya. Started to pray for the people there and the friends there that no one would be anything. Of course, the news ain't going to tell you but so much. So my husband made a few phone calls, got a little more information. Turns out they've had issues now for several weeks that hadn't been posted, hadn't been posted, which I guess that happens. So here we are. But over the weekend, you've got things over the weekend, and it's amazing to me how everybody becomes an expert. Everybody becomes an expert. You ain't lived but 15 good minutes and you're an expert. I mean, I think about the fact that I've been trading for 4 or 5 years, but I've not personally traded in the midst of stuff like this. But there are people who have. So if you don't know, hush. That's my thought. I even made a Twitter post about it today. It was like, if you're somebody who is not traded in war times or that is not, doesn't really know economics, please stand down and let the people who do have experience in this area save the timeline for them. Save timeline space for people who know what they're talking about. And if it ain't you, just accept that it's not you and hush. And just hush. And anyway, there's that. So that was all yesterday. I guess it continues. And one of the things I'm going to go on from here, but one of the things I think is interesting, you see so many videos on social media, and we're in the place now where you can't really tell whether the videos that are being posted are really real videos or are they AI generated. You can't tell. Like, was there a boat out there, a warship, a ship that was really shooting down, that was shooting like all that ammunition at a drone that took all them shots? It's like, was that real or was that AI? So I had to stop watching videos because I was like, I can't tell which ones of these are real. I'm not going to get myself all worked up over a video that is AI generated. So anyway, back to prayer, which was my point. We're going to pray. We're going to pray and pray some more. That's really what we can control. And that's what we can do, which is pray. So I'm going to go ahead and let me do what I'm here to do on any given Sunday. This is what I do on any given Sunday. I'm going to look at these charts. Okay. So this is the weekly chart. This is SPX last week. Okay. The weekly chart got a pretty big doji looking. I mean, even though there's an open and close, this is the weekly chart. It was a 2 up. I need to maybe turn on my indicator, but I think I'm fine without it. So it's a 2 up candle. My chart almost looks too naked, don't it? I had it to hide all the stuff, and now it looks like I don't have nothing on these charts, but it's a 2 up last week. Open and close was open 69.01, close 68.78. So down maybe what, 23 points? Yeah, 20, 78, 88, 98. That's 23 points. 23 points open and close last week. Open up here 69.01, close 68.78. That's 23 points. That's a small range for, again, a $6,000, almost $7,000 stock. Tanya said, made me so mad when I'm 5 to 10 minutes in and realize it's all I feel I got. Like I got, yeah. So this was last week, kind of doji-ish. Last week, 23 points from top to bottom as far as the open and close went. The high of last week was 68.15. No, sorry, 69.52. And the low was 68.15. So about 135, 40 points from top to bottom for last week's chart. Last week, this is the weekly. Okay, let's go to look at the daily for SPX. I know as soon as I start to do anything, it's going to bring all the drawings back. Yep. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as you do anything, it's going to say, yep, you want the drawings back? We'll give them all to you. So there we are with all the drawings back. Okay. there was a gap there. Part of this gap was filled with some of the price action from last week, but then now we have a bigger gap that is enduring from 68.82 up to 69.08 is a gap for the this is the daily. I'm on the daily chart now. So that's what's between Thursday and Friday. Now Friday, let me stretch this out some so we can see what the dailies actually look like. Let me take this off because I'm not sure if that's still what I want it to be. Yeah. I think I want you going to. There we go. So this was the what happened during the week. We've got Monday, bread day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. Friday was a big gap down. It recovered some of that gap, but not all of it. So it left some information, some entries, basically some room left in the gap, which is why I just marked that gap here. Okay. That was SPX last week. Still in a range. SPX has been in a pretty big range for a while. Question in my chat now that somebody gave me super chat. I'm all for super chat money. Good afternoon. Let's show the question. Why is it not recommended to do naked sell puts or naked sell call? Can we just leave the trade if the price pass our price threshold? So I actually am a fan of doing selling puts. I teach that strategy and I'm a fan of selling puts. So I definitely would say I do recommend selling puts. Especially if you got the resources, because that's generally what stops people from selling puts is the resources. But if you're going to sell puts and the price does expire below your strike, and then you're going to be put the 100 shares. And if you want the 100 shares, then you should leave them, right? You should leave it. You do a cash secure put. You sell at a certain strike, which basically you're saying below this strike, I'm willing to buy them at this strike that I've selected. And you get put the 100 shares. I'm all for that. That way, when you get put the 100 shares, you can then sell covered calls. You can sell covered calls because now you have 100 shares. As far as selling naked calls, well, you could do that as well. Again, it's going to be a price. It's usually a resources thing why people don't sell naked calls, because once if price expires beyond a naked call, that basically says I'm willing to sell. When you're selling calls, you're saying I'm willing to release my shares to the market at this price, right? So that's what you have to think about. Is that what you want to do? Now, we do covered calls with the shares like I just talked about. And if you do that, then you're basically relinquishing your shares, those 100 shares, to the market. If you're doing naked calls, naked selling calls, you need to have either 100 shares or you need to have the money that's going to be able to transfer shares. Because if you don't have the shares, what are you going to give them with? You're going to have to give them, you're going to have to pay for them with your account and then give the shares up. If you have the money and you're selling calls, then you're generally accepting premium, collecting premium the whole way. And if a price gets past you and expires, then you just have to use that money to buy the shares in order to pass it off to the market. So I'm not saying it's not recommended. Definitely selling puts, I'm a fan. Selling calls, I usually don't do naked calls. I do covered calls, which means I've got the shares or I've got a long call that I'm using as my cover. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question, but it's not that it's not recommended. I think the only major drawback to either of these is the amount of collateral that you're going to use that's going to be tied up while you're running these trades. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Anybody else want a particular question answered? You can always put in a super chat and then, I jump straight to you. I jump straight to what you want. Okay. Works out perfect. Alrighty. So there's that. This was SPX for the week, like I talked about. We can look at what SPY did for the week, which should look very similar. SPY will look very similar, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's put a gap holder here. There's a gap between Thursday and Friday, just like there was on SPX. All right. SPY closed on Friday. I like the weekly. Let's go see what the week did. It should look about the same. It closed the week at 686.04. Pretty good up and down, but closed the week with that. Ended on Friday. Looks, oh goodness, looks about like this is Triple Q we're going to now. Looking at what Triple Q did last week. Looks a little different than SPY and SPX. If we look at the weekly, it had a little doji-ish thing going to barely though. Look at this. It's got a good little wick. Let me turn off that indicator so I don't have to fight to see the wicks. Okay. Talk about a doji. Quite dojis. It did almost absolutely nothing. Let's see what's top to bottom here. I mean, open to close on Triple Q. Opened at 606, close at 607. $1. $1. It did $1. Okay. $1 between open and close. I kind of feel like last week and definitely Friday felt kind of like a nothing burger. And I wonder if the market or people in the market knew of what was going on, and SPX and the whole market really like sat still while it was waiting for all the stuff that was happening. Going to happen in the world the next day or that same night. So speculation on my part, but I always think somebody always knows. I think these people tell each other what they need to know up higher up the chain. Everybody gets told who needs to be told, except for us little retail investors. Us retail investors don't get to hear all of the things going on. But this is IWM. IWM on the weekly last week had open at 263.40 and a close at 261.40. So it's down about $2 in the close there. That was for the week. And if we go look at the daily, similarly, it had Friday, which kind of was a nothing burger for IWM as well. Left a gap that needs to be closed as well. All right, let's go see what's coming up this week. What's coming up? Okay, Wall Street weighs winners and losers amid AI-driven tech sell-off. Now I'm thinking I guess they maybe didn't make that the headlines. Investors rotated out of tech stocks in February, but strategists see stark contrast among tech firms in the near future. Now, today is, in case you didn't know it, I'm sure y'all know it, March the 1st. March the 1st is today. We closed out February. My birthday was yesterday. Thank you, all the people who said happy birthday to me. I do appreciate that. My birthday was yesterday. Had a good time with the children, my two children, and my husband. We kind of just drifted, had breakfast, did some little minor just things together. And then I had a nice dinner at J. Alexander. I had never been there. Anybody ever been to J. Alexander? And if so, tell me what your favorite dish was there. But we went there for dinner last night, and that's how we concluded a really good day. Really good day. Okay. So that's what's going on. Wall Street weighs winners and losers. Broadcom February jobs data. Broadcom's earning what to watch this week. We got some stuff coming up this week. I'll get to that in a minute. The calendar. UAE stock markets to close for 2 days amid the Iran strikes. Now, I had one person who is in Dubai who said nothing got bombed in Dubai, even though we supposedly saw videos of things that were bombed in Dubai. Anyway, again, what's real and what is not? What's real and what is not? Okay. Dollar surges as traders brace for the war impact. Cryptocurrencies under pressure as Iran strikes stir uncertainty. Wall Street turns to haven first strategy amid Iran crisis. China solar boom helps energy. Nope, that ain't nothing. OPEC Plus raises oil production, which that's a thing. I saw somewhere online that the Strait of Hormuz or Hamas is got closed, which is where the oil transfers back and forth through that strait. And it turns out that looks like Iran has blocked it again. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. What to expect from oil and gas prices as strikes on Iran continue? Amazon India / accelerate refill. Okay. So yeah, I don't air travel heavily disrupted following these strikes. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Again, not speculating. For me, it's a literally, and I say this all the time. I say this all the time to just trade what you see. And that's all we can do if we're honest. Is trade what you see, is, definitely not trying to capitalize on the misfortune of others for sure. Not speculating. Some folks have come, I've seen on Twitter where folks were saying, every time we've had war, people have bought the dip and it's always been bought up. I've heard that oil is something that's big to investigate in or invest or investigate, both of those. I've heard that. Consumer staples, I've heard that. I mean, I've read lots of things, but again, this is not a space where I've actively traded. I've of course been a US citizen through these wars, but I was never watching the market close enough to see the ins and outs of what the market does. So I'm doing what I was saying other people to do, is hush. I'm just going to look at what I see each day and trade what I see each day. We're going to just trade what we see. This is what you do. Trade what you see. And if because the IV is up or because there is uncertainty, watching is always a strategy. Just watching. You can preserve your capital and watch, or trade super light. It's really up to you. All righty. Really, really up to you. Leaving that there. Live updates. Trump vows to avenge the deaths of U.S. service members. Combat operations continues. Airlines cancel hundreds of flights after U.S. and Israeli strikes in Iran. U.S. crude oil is topping $70 a barrel when trading begins on fears of Iran supply disruption. Iran may lash out harder as Khamenei's death puts Tehran on a war footing. Yep, there's all of that. Okay. Leaving. Oh, well, hey, come back here. There we go. What are you doing? Didn't mean to do it like that. Okay, so that's what we got in CNBC. Let's look at the schedule for the week. Tomorrow, we've got 10 o'clock PMI. ISM Manufacturing PMI, we've got that on Monday as a red folder. Tuesday, we've got some FOMC members speaking, and I'll say that's about it as far as Tuesday goes. But again, we're in a heavily news-driven market right now. So just because we don't see red folders doesn't mean there won't be things. All right. ISM Services PMI on Wednesday and non-farm employment change before market opens. Challenger job cuts, unemployment claims is Thursday. And then Friday, we've got core retail sales, which of course is a thing, unemployment rate. Another thing that I think is heavy is in the midst of all these situations, inflation is a thing that we need to be mindful of, because if goods can't move through, if the supply chain gets disrupted and goods can't move at the same pace, then yeah, there's that. All righty. So that's what I got for the schedule for this week. Let's move to earnings. Who's got earnings this week? Looks like Berkshire Hathaway is Monday morning. Norwegian Cruise Line, Cirrus, California, AAON, ADT, Compugen, Unicure, Turning Point, and Zymeworks is all Monday morning. Monday after close, Credo, Riot is here, the crypto people. Mongo, Big Bear AI, AST, Space Mobile, Archer. I think Archer is what, the airlines in the sky, like the Uber of the sky kind of thing. Plug, QCI, AES, and Dave are all Monday after close. Tuesday morning, Target or Target, Best Buy, CSE is the ticker on AutoZone, Sport Trader, PaySafe, and Ant Alpha, Contour, and LB Foster's all Tuesday morning. Tuesday after close, CrowdStrike, JIT Labs, Rigel or Regal, Box, Rayonier, Ross, B&G Foods, MEC, Fuel Tech, and Cryoport. It's all Tuesday after close. Wednesday morning, Abercrombie and Fitch.com, Wix, Genius Sports, Daktronics, Bath and Body Works, Smart Rent, STVN, Stevanato Group, Nexen, and Ocugen. Ocugen is all, this is Wednesday morning. Wednesday after close, Broadcom, ABGO, that's probably anticipated, much like Crowd probably is. Rigetti is also Wednesday after close. Viva, Okta, another one that may be anticipated. A lot of people seem to be trading that one. I say a lot of people. I've seen talk about it more than before. I don't mean a lot of people. American Eagle Outfitters, Uma, Weebull, Stem, Riley, Cracker Barrel. Now I need Weebull to come on and get his life together because Weebull looked like it wanted to do something. Then it didn't. Then it quit doing it. Like we want you to keep doing whatever it is you was trying to do. Come on and do it. Thursday, Sienna, Amprius, Kroger is here, Liquidia, JD.com, Victoria's Secret, Burlington Tango, Out Immune, and Canadian Natural. All Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, Marvel, Costco earnings on Thursday. That's probably anticipated. Costco, Walmart, Target, those are the ones that are kind of been continuing to rise in the midst of this situation that we're in. Yeah, GoPro, Samsara, Pattern, Petrobras, which I think is fuels or energy, BCIC, Audio Eye, Omada, and Guidewire. Friday morning, Genesco, Methode, Algonquin, Drilling Tools, EVEX, and Embraer. Some of these people I've never heard of, but hey, Delisha, some of these folks I've never heard of, but this is who has earnings this week, okay? This is who's got earnings. Who has earnings? This is who has earnings. Let me grab it up here because I need to use it. Need to use this piece of information. There we go. I was there. What's the name is going to open? Futures is going to open in about 30 minutes. Several people trade futures through the night and they're anticipating some moves. All right. For those who trade futures, again, trade wisely, trade accordingly, trade what you see, trade all the things, right? Trade all the things and trade wisely. I would anticipate, I would say I would do a lot more watching before I did any like launching of the money. Now, you know what you see. If you trade with candles and price action and you trade, those kind of things, then if you see your setup, ride with it. If you see your setup, ride, right? So, but I don't trade futures. So I have no input as to that. But for those who look for their setups, who look for what they're looking for, if you see what you want, I guess you can, trade whatever. But I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. This is SoFi. I think somebody in the comment mentioned, Janae mentioned SoFi. SoFi has its own set of fun stuff going on. It's trying to get its life together. You talking about Webull when I was saying it was going to do what it needed to do and then it quit doing it? SoFi. Yeah, SoFi, similar situation where it looked like it wanted to go do something and then was like, no, I don't think I will. I think I'll just chill out right here. Yep, SoFi has done exactly that. It's just kind of been like, nah, I think I'm good. I'm just going to chill here. SoFi has so many headwinds and we knew that as a long-term, that SoFi would be a longer term trade kind of thing. So it's been what it is, basically. It's been what it is. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So I believe I've covered all the stuff I said I was gonna cover. Do we have any tickers we want to look at? Anybody got any tickers they want to look at while while we wait? I did talk about this last week that I do have a video that's up talking about how to use gamma and gamma exposure each day to trade credit spreads on SPX. And it really it can be used to trade, it can be used to trade credit spreads on anything. You can use it on other tickers as well. So but you'll go over to my channel, or if you're already on my channel, go and check out this video about gamma and gamma exposure to see how to trade. How do we trade SPX? I trade it with credit spreads, but everybody doesn't. Some people trade gamma with they buy and sell, buy calls and puts. Yes, they buy and sell, but they buy calls and puts, and you can use gamma for that as well. It doesn't have to be for spreads. Of course, I'm a fan of credit spreads because I just looking for where price is not going. I don't need it to move. Like Friday, when the price just kind of sat all day and did little or nothing. Um, I didn't need for SPX to be going anywhere. I'm going to show you what Friday looked like so you can see what I'm talking about, because Friday during the day just kind of waffled back and forth all day. And then finally at the end of the day decided it was ready to move. But initially during the day, I even changed it to 15 minutes. SPX just kind of did nothing. It popped up a little bit, came back down, and then danced right around here. Basically, the high of the back here, the high of the morning was 68.75. The low was the low of the day, which was when the price first opened, which was 68.31. It basically popped, what did I say, to 68.75. And so that's about a 40-point move. And then it just pulled back a little bit. Look at all these big wicks. See these wicks, and you see how it kind of danced around VWAP. And finally, about 245, 230, 245, it decided it was ready to move. Yeah, definitely news started. It had to be news driven because this big candle right here. Oh, I know what happened. Around this time was when the president was supposed to be starting to have a discussion with Iran about what was to come. He was going to, discuss with Iran, and they were trying to come to some type of negotiations. So this big news pop just went like ballistic and went up as high as 68.82 and then pull back a little bit for the close, right? But this whole 3 o'clock run had to do with the Iran talks, or talks you thought were going well. This looks like it's going well, but then on Saturday we get something else. Yeah, something else. So, hi. SoFi has kind of petered out. Yeah, hey Selena, how you doing, girl? Thank you for my birthday wish. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Okay. So this is what SPX did. Again, for those who trade futures, if it's gonna open up here in a few shakes. Let's go see what's on cost, what cost looks like. I did see a request for it in the chat. Now, Costco, no, they need to talk about splitting or something, because y'all $1,000, you're doing too much. Okay. But what I see on Costco, it's definitely had a nice little buy zone was down here. If you want to call it a buy zone, whatever. The name is all the same. It all means it started to go up. So a support area, a buy zone, what is it? Supply and demand, a demand area, all the whatever you want to call it. You can call it any of those things, right? So it started that back on Monday and Tuesday, and then it recovered, getting prepped. I feel like it's getting prepped for earnings, but let's see what's on the Wednesday. Weekly. This is the weekly. Nice little rejection up here at 1,022. Turn this from, there we go, solid. No, I don't want two of them. I just want one. Okay, let me do this is hi. Come on, let me type here. There we go. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Weekly resistance. I'm going to put support next to it because if price bumps past it, it'll be support. That's on the weekly chart. 1,022. It hit it last week, the week of February 17th, pulled back or gap down. Honestly, for the week, that gap down from, well, a little bit of a gap down from 985, which is where it closed last week, gap down to 981, and basically ran up the rest of the week, got to the R1 pivot at 1,012 and then pulled back a little bit and closed. If the price can push on through that pivot and through this weekly area of 1,022, it of course can keep going. You see that it is on a very strong bullish trend. Yeah, it's got a good little bullish trend going. And these are this inflationary environment is support for Costco. So again, trade what you see, but definitely yeah, 40, he was talking. So trade what you see. As far as that goes, let's go to a daily chart, see if we see an entry. What would be a good entry if you're going up or down? If you're going up or down, what would be a good entry? Boop, 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 boop. That's the one. I mean, according to the broadening formation, it may try to turn back a bit, but if it's got enough push, it can push right on through there, and enough interest and buying could make it push right on through there, right on through this 1,010, which is where it closed on Friday. This is a 2 up. The next target actually would be the 1,015 would be next target, with the next one being 1,028. It could continue to do just that. So we can put here, that would be target. Nope, not what I want you to do. Not what I want you to do. Come on, let me type over here. Oh, this can be frustrating. I need to type on this line. I'll just go to settings. Target one would be at 1,016, and I may just clone this and take it up to where I want it to go, and this would be target two. Target to 1,028. Now, as sellers, we see a bullish move. We can get below support if you want to get below 981 or get below 986, depending on how bullish you are. Or we can look at the 4-hour chart, which I'm a fan of looking at the 4-hour chart to see what did the 4-hour do. Now, the 4-hour chart, from what we can see here, is, I usually look at 4-hour, not on regular trading hours, not on the after and before, but this is still a 2 up on the 4-hour. So you either could enter going on after it tops the top of this, or you would look to see if it reverses and gets back below the bottom at 998, and that may signal coming back down. Really up to which way you want to trade it. Are you trading it as a buyer? Are you trading it as a seller? Okay. Are you trading it as a buyer? Are you trading it as a seller? CMG. Oh, CMG is $30. Well, what happened to CMG? Well, you know what? Didn't they do a split a while back? I think they did a 10-for-1 split, didn't they? Yep, 41.40, and it's fallen down to 37.22. Supposedly Netflix has moved really strongly after that. They finally quit talking about that deal with Warner Brothers. I think all the investors wanted Netflix to stand down anyway. So once they did, the investors were like, "Yep, count us in." And you got a big old pop that happened off of Netflix as a result of that. Netflix on Friday gapped up first of all to 90, above $90, and it ran and closed at 96. It closed on Thursday at $84 and currently at 90. It's a big $12 jump. Look at that. Look at that. Netflix was like down, down, down. And then it was like, nope, you will not keep us down. We will be back. We'll be back. So let me see. I gotta adjust these gaps because this one is not accurate at this point. There we go with that. But there is another gap that was created from Tuesday to Wednesday. Here we go. There's a gap that was created from Tuesday to Wednesday. Good support down here in this zone, in the 75 zone. It popped right up out of there and never looked back at this point. So price has gone up. It does have a gap up here that was left from January the 20th. Between 20 and 21, some bit of price action did close it, but not all of it. But then we created a new gap. It created a new gap from Thursday to Friday. I don't think I noticed Netflix on Friday when it was going crazy. What was I doing on Friday that I didn't see this? All right. Maybe you should buy some more. Well, Netflix, I felt like, not investment advice, but I always felt like Netflix was a good investment. I don't know about Chipotle, but that's on you. That Chipotle thing is on you. Okay, so there's that. All righty, I'm going to wrap up. We're going to get ready in about 15 minutes or less to work with the membership. Remember, I have a membership. Well, basically, we talk and we trade. We do all the things together to trade SPX on a daily basis. That is training and coaching and teaching. Entries with alerts, exits, all those good things, access to me for questions and answers. Just sometimes you need somebody to tell you which buttons to push to get out of a trade that you might have gotten in and now you can't hardly figure out how to get out. It's good to have somebody to ask. Okay, sometimes you just need that. So I'm there for my folks in the membership as we do that. Also have copy trading is still going, so you're free to join copy trading. Earl says, I was going to start with courses. Which one should I start with, the wheel strategy or the SPX spread strategy? It really depends on your availability to trade. Are you looking forward? Do you want to trade SPX spreads? Are you new to options? Are you new to selling options? There's a few questions. If you are new to selling options, I probably would start with the wheel strategy. I would start there or start with the credit spreads. If you really want to do credit spreads on all the different stocks, I would start with credit spreads there and start, to understand, because that's kind of our bread and butter strategy that we use every day. But the wheel strategy of something, if you don't have a lot of time to watch and you want something more passive, if you want something that's more passive, then the wheel strategy is definitely going to be more passive. Okay, definitely going to be more passive. So let me give you, you can come to my website. You can go to the website. Everything that I do, my resources, trainings, all those good things are found at the website. Educator2trader.com is where all of my stuff is found. The membership access is there. Trying to see, the membership access is there. All my stuff is there, basically. I'm thinking about all that's not there. Oh, everything is there. Everything starts at the educator2trader.com. Educator2trader.com is where everything starts. The membership, you can start there. Copy trading, Gamma resource, the wheel strategy, how to do the PDT hack. All those resources are found at that website. Okay, all of them are there. All righty. So in the morning, I will be on YouTube, 8:30. I'll be here on YouTube tomorrow morning at 8:30, seeing what the night holds and seeing what the day could hold for tomorrow's training. All right. So I want you to do what we need to always do. Oh my goodness, stay green. Get this money. I'm gonna add pray to this because this is what's needed. Much prayer, much power. All right. I will see you all in the market. Bye, everyone. Bye bye.